Hey everybody, it's Jesse, and I wanted to do a video to just explain how I got to where I am now as a front-end developer. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details about the specific tools that I use to help learn. This is just going to be a general overview, and hopefully soon I can have another video out where I go in and really take a look at what was the most helpful tools to learn things. But I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the beginning. Uh, the beginning of my learning to code was in around 2003, and that's when I learned basic HTML and CSS. I was in high school at the time, and in one of our computer classes, we took a few weeks, kind of at the end of a course on Microsoft Office, to learn, basic HTML and CSS. So that was my first introduction to the world of web development, and I liked it. I got really excited about it. I made a couple websites that, in hindsight, probably were awful, but they seemed cool to me at the time. They had the all black background. The layout was just in tables. I had some like neon colored font, but that was my first introduction into that. And then I didn't do that much with it for a while, and it wasn't until a few years later. So in college, I did take a C++ course, not exactly web related, but they kind of just kept my interest and kept me learning. And I didn't do much with that either. I only remember making a calculator. I know we did other things in that class, but the only thing I can remember is making a calculator in C++. I did take a web development course, but I ended up dropping it a few weeks in. So I just had taken way too many courses, and I needed to drop something. And I knew enough to know that I wasn't learning the latest techniques in that class. And I remember thinking, I don't want to learn the old way to do things. I want to know the new way to do things. But then I ended up not really doing much with it. So fast forward all the way to 2013. I quit my job as a teacher, as a high school teacher, and the year ended. The school year ended in like the end of May. So the end of May, I had until August because I kept getting paid until August. That was when like the financial year went towards. So I only had a few months to find a new job. So I just started looking, for anything I could find, and I ended up connecting with a friend from high school who was doing some website work, mostly WordPress websites and search engine optimization things. And so I started working with him. And at first, it wasn't anything that I would call web development work. It was mostly writing blog posts for companies that would help them rank higher in search rankings, or going through and changing like meta tags. So at first it wasn't web development specific, but then it got more specific, and I realized I could make more money if I learned how to do the web stuff, more than just the basics that I had picked up in high school. So that's what I did. So that's when I really started getting into trying to find the best resources to learn. So just to mention a few, I'm not going to get it too in depth into this, but I did some courses from Codecademy, found a lot of different YouTube videos. I used to just watch YouTube videos on coding, when I was like doing a workout or something, or holding my kids when they were babies, and just walking around and just listening. And most of the time, I didn't know what was going on. They were way too advanced for me. But after I watched them a few times, I would pick up more and more, and would try to implement that in the projects that I was working on for clients. Around the time like when Free Code Camp started, I remember getting into that too and doing some things with Free Code Camp. So for a couple years, I just very slowly increased my skills, and then around the year, so August 2015, I had been freelancing for a while, and I needed to I needed to find something that made more money, was more permanent. Some months I would have clients and I'd make money, and some months I wouldn't have, barely anything. So that wasn't going to work. At the time, I had 3 kids. So I had a wife and 3 kids. So I definitely needed I needed something more than just the variable freelance work that I was getting. So I started applying to jobs, and some related to web development, some not. And during that summer of 2015, I got 2 job offers, and both of them seemed like they didn't have that much to do with front end development or web development at all. One of them was definitely just social media marketing work, and the other one potentially had some opportunity for web development. But they both offered steady work and benefits, and so I ended up taking a job at a local university, and I actually didn't get the job I applied for, which turned out really, really great for me. They gave it to somebody else, but they realized that they could use somebody with my skill set, so they made another job for me. The official job was Integrated Marketing Communications Coordinator, which didn't sound good for someone who wanted to be a web developer. But it turns out for the whole first year I had that job, I did 90% at least of what I did was web development. So after being there for a year, they changed my title to front end developer, and that's the short story of how I became a front end developer. Uh, during at this point, I feel very confident in saying, yes, I am a front end developer. I do some back end work as well from time to time when I need to, but I can't believe I just fit that much time into like 8 minutes. But that was kind of my journey, and along the way, if anyone's going through a similar journey, or if you want to become a developer and you're not really there yet, I would say there were plenty of times when I got really discouraged, when I just couldn't find clients, and the clients that I did have, sometimes I just had to take work, and it wasn't the work I wanted to do, but that was still helpful. Like it kept me going. It made me some money so that I could keep on pursuing this. There were times when I got offered jobs doing something totally different, like working in a warehouse somewhere, and it was a tough decision, but I turned them down, and thankfully my wife was supportive of that, because yeah, that would have made me some money immediately, but I'd still be there in the same spot, like stocking shelves, and instead of where I'm at now, which is much more fulfilling to me, and I really love what I do. So I would say, if you can manage to do it and keep working and keep paying the bills, stick with it. It can be discouraging at times, but now I look back on where I was a few years ago, and I've come so far, and it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. It was. There's a lot of doubt involved, doubting my own skills, but I think that's natural. I think everybody has some of that. So I think anybody, if they really want to, and they put their mind to this and want to put in the effort, they can become a developer too. It's just a matter of sticking through it, through the frustrations and the doubt, and coming out and getting that job, and then once you get there, not stopping and just continuing to learn and get better and better. And if that's something you enjoy and you really want to do, go for it. And I'd be happy to share some more advice, or help you along the way if you want. So if you have any questions about my journey, comment below in the video. If you're shy, you can direct message me on Twitter, and I'll try to respond to you as soon as I can. But thanks for listening to my story. And I'll have some more videos, hopefully some more helpful videos that aren't about me, but are more about the code, coming soon. So until next time, keep on coding, and hang in there.